It made a lot of sense, and I thought Miss Morrissey did a really good job of teaching us how to use it. That was my first experience with it. And so I guess it's basically like that. There's charts that you can look at how it's been doing. Like these are Snapchat's stocks that I bought. And I bought 100 of them, and then they've just been going down, which is really bad.
It's because of the update.
So what?
It's because of the update.
Yeah, probably. And this is also in real time with the real stock market.
But you're not actually losing any money.
You're not losing or gain. You start with 100,000.
Is this what traders do?
Yes.
So what's the point of this? To learn how to balance our stocks or to buy stocks?
So yeah, it's not to learn how to buy stocks, but it's to learn how the market works. That's the name of this. And basically, you can just go and fool around with it. You can't do any harm unless you click buy, trade Snapchat stocks for real, which is a thing there. But you'd have to have it's really complicated if you really want to screw your life up. Wasting all your money on Snapchat stocks, then you could. And there's a button that you can do that, but it would take
So can I hop in real quick? I see the point of it as just being an entry point to thinking about larger economics. So the stock market is not the entire economic existence of America. The stock market is just one aspect of it, but it's a big aspect, and we can start to think about specific things like different types of businesses, like a tech business versus a commodities business versus raw, I don't know. But I think that in terms of having a final product where you could try to convince peers to buy some stock, you could say, for instance, with Snapchat, look at this chart.
It's been going down.
It's been going down. So right now it's really undervalued because the updates are rough. So they have an update out there. They figured out what's wrong with it. It's going to be a lot better, and it's going to go up immediately. Does that make sense?
Everything is wrong with you.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll talk about this later. Are there any other questions about how the market works?
How it actually works, or the website,
or why we're doing it?
There's also some really handy links in here that will actually there's a bunch of links to articles, and you can just go to them, and it'll be best auto stocks to invest in 2018, and you can go to them, and that'll give you a lot of tips about, and that'll help. I've read them, and they're it's top 6 reasons to invest in this, and it'll basically relate to what you can see on here. If you look at the graph, it'll be the same on the article, but they'll explain it a little more so you can understand more. So there's trading ideas and quotes and stuff like that. So yeah,
Cool.
Really basic.
What do y'all think?
Cool. Sounds fun.
Cool.
Yep.
So
cool.
Giving the class half an hour for goodness to have fun with this and spend a little money.
yeah.
And then you could do a daily check-in or a weekly check-in or.
See, this has a leaderboard.
So you can put fake stocks into anything.
So if I can go to my contest, and it's has ranking. It has ranks up on here.
There's also stocks on your phone.
What?
An app for stocks.
Yeah, so
I
I think
have that.
another advantage of it is, so essentially we can have a closed group, so it'll just be A's and students competing. And it is kind of a competition. We can decide when we want to have the ending date and if we want to have some sort of prize for it. And we can set how much imaginary money we want to start with. So we can, they recommend $100,000, but we could change that up if we wanted to be realistic and say
million
that, or what is the average
consumer spend on
average
stocks.
Hazen or Hardwick citizen have to spend on stocks, or what is the average consumer spend on stocks?
Probably not a lot.
Well,
Honestly,
Probably not a ton.
yeah, I know, right? But that might be it might be meaningful learning. Further than that, you can get these different, you can get different applications and different tools that are really useful for the stock market and get experience using those. I think I'm gonna move on.
Is there like a chart where you can like see like the drops and like actual stocks and like?
Yeah. So
That's what that thing is.
if I go to positions, hold up, I'll show. Let's go Ferrari.
Oh man, stocks are so good.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm rolling, G. So I'm gonna jump in with some other stuff. Two things. One, I'd be excited to continue documenting these meetings because I think some folks that have been coming here will agree that the quality of our meetings kind of goes up and down right now. But I'd say like this time and last time, it feels like it's getting better, which I'm really encouraged by.
Why do you think that is?
Oh my God! Not you.
What?
So, in I guess further than that, this, you know how there's another school that's doing student negotiated curriculum where I kind of got this idea.
Yeah, the Greek mythology.
The Greek mythology folks, Sheldon School. There's another school, Cabot School, is starting to do the same thing. Those three schools have been accepted to do a presentation on student negotiated curriculum at a conference in May called Dynamic Landscapes held in Burlington at Champlain College. It would be really awesome if students could come to that. And it would be really awesome if some of you all might want to take on the role of like documenting these meetings. Because right now I'm just pressing record on a camera and putting it down and then loading them on my computer and waiting for someone else to deal with it. Does that make sense?
So why would you record these? Just to review what we've said?
Okay, so I think A, to review what we've said, because there have been moments that it's like, okay, we're doing really well. For instance, coming back to the like figuring out what to read, that's gonna be a good thing to come back to and say like, okay, this is how we tried to talk about it last time, this is how we can do a better job of talking about it next time. Other than that, what we're doing is really unique in Vermont education, and it's something that people are excited to do more of and copy, so we can sort of honestly lead other schools in having more student negotiated or student directed.
No, it's stacking.
Student directed curriculum. So we have one thing where there's this conference where we'll get to go and miss school and interact with people from different schools, which I think is always a good thing. Another aspect of it is we will essentially get to have some hazen pride and like hold this community up as a community that's doing cool things educationally, which I think leads to people giving you more resources to do cooler things.
Did you say cool or cool?
Cool, cooler, cruel. No. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm new to like editing video and taking video. I've like edited one iMovie, and I think I did a mediocre job of it. But I think we're just collecting raw footage right now, and from raw footage you can tell a story, and that can be how do we figure out what to read. It can be the whole story of like logistics. How do you run a student negotiated curriculum meeting? Stuff like that.
Okay.
Cool.
So we have roughly 10 minutes left. I think we should talk about the final product sum. Does that work for you all? So what we're wondering is there's I'm just going to pull it up and show it off. This is a document that is like the suggested Vermont proficiencies from the Agency of Education. Like the state put it out there and like, hey schools, check this out, you should do it. And then it's up to the individual schools to say, yes, we're doing that, or we're going to do our own thing. This school has not yet decided what their own thing is, and they haven't yet decided if they're going to accept this. So teachers are teaching without standards, and students are learning without standards. Which you,
That's not good.
you're probably aware of. You have experienced that, right?
So we don't have, after this, we just go, you just teach us whatever you want to teach us.
It's kind of what I've been
You could
doing.
teach us how to make a backpack.
Kind of, well, so I have to teach
That's what you
reading, writing, speaking and listening, and language.
So you could
And those are what our 4 goals here have been. But what that means more than those words is not like specific or broken down. So what I'm suggesting is that we as students, you as students, I get to learn stuff too. I just don't get a grade. We go through here and say like, these are the things that we want to focus on in the different aspects, and these are the things that we want to try to assess using this theme in this unit.
So is that like on our website?
So yes, and I linked it again in our student planning document. I can email it specifically to you.
Yeah, will you do that, please?
And Renee, could you forward it to anyone else who wants it?
Yeah.
I want it. Give it to me. Whatever it is.
I guess I'd also be excited
Wait, should we
to.
fill this up?
I'd be excited to get us on more on the shared document of our student planning committee stuff, which you can say this is a bad way to do it, if it's a bad way to do it, but I just have like a running Google document where I'm taking attendance and
No, that's a good way to do it.
I'm just jotting down notes. And there's links at the bottom, so the bottom of the document is where everything goes. That's
What's it
current.
called? What are we looking at?
Standards from the state of Vermont. It's
Oh, okay.
Bruce and Mr. Nichols. So we can choose our standards. Then what Bruce and I were thinking is we should have like a project that's based in like global current event, so it could be based in a stock. We could have a project that's based in like a local community thing, so you would do a project about a Hardwick specific business. And we could have a project that was based in like a historical event, so the rise of communism or the fall of communism or stock market crashes or the effect
Stock market crashes involving communism.
stock market crashes involving communism or the effects of war on the economy, like stuff like that. What do you all
Communism
think?
has changed over the years.
Yeah,
My dad just texted me. He said that'd be fun.
sweet.
I think it would be kind of cool to study like a local business and how their stock grows and changes, extends, possibly like along the side of Axel's project.
So, I didn't understand you. So study a local do local companies have stock?
Our company does.
Yeah? Cool.
I mean, I think it's private stock, so.
So that would be another thing. It could be like, what's the difference between
Private stock and public stock.
private stock and public stock? Yeah. Because there's something called like an initial public offering. But yeah. So, what do you all think? Sorry, Cody, I need you out of here. Cody and Hunter. All right, be quiet.
You threw your bike in the river.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
It's just out there.
What do you think our next steps are?
To
I suggest launching this when we come back from. I mean, like.
I want to start it before we go on break, because then when
No.
we come back, we're all going to forget about it.
Yeah, I suggest launching it when we get back from break.
Well, Axel, we only have like 3 more days.
Oh my god, can we just do this? This looks so good.
Actually, we
I know.
only have 1 more day,
Why
Axel.
can't
I may
you
not be there.
accept the requirements?
I also may not be here the day after break.
Wait,
My plane gets in at like 2:30 in New York.
Don't play with the doors. Don't play with the doors. Bad idea.
okay, whatever you do, do not let them in.
Everybody's invading.
Okay.
late.
Folks, can I have our attention just to finish up? Just close the door
They're out
again.
there.
Guys, seriously.
I think we should try to meet again on tomorrow at lunch. Would that work for you all?
Yeah.
Because I think we should get this to a good place. And we might have different people here, but I think we'll get it to a good place. I think yes. Let's meet in the conference
So
room.
this is
We're
a
done with
little
this.
bit hard, but them and them.
I think our tasks are going to be more specifics around the final projects, maybe breaking off into groups and working on the like reading material, and then breaking off and working on like the launch or like how are we going to introduce how the market works.
I like the stock idea.
Cool. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
And then you're gonna work on that. You'll never be able to do anything.
Oh man. First we gotta make me a reason. Okay?
Nom nom nom
You
nom.
get where I'm coming from with that stuff though. Excellent.